Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is June 14th, 2021, and this is episode 331. Geiger is what we're looking at today. This is an Image comic coming in at $3.99. It is issue number 3. I have no idea how many issues it's going to be, and it's put out by the Mad Ghost arm of Image. Take a quick look at the cover. We've got this broken skull in a very desolate land. I'm assuming that this is supposed to be a representation of Geiger's life. The skull, we can see, has some teeth on it that have not come down yet, so I'm assuming that this is a child's skull. And a little heartbreaking stuff on there, but let's go ahead and take a look at who worked on this book. Geoff Johns and Gary Frank are the creators, and I believe Gary Frank's doing the art in this. Brad Anderson's the colorist, and Rob Lay is the letters. Okay, this is a recommend. I have been enjoying that. I know people are back and forth on that, whether they like it or not. I've heard some of the reviews. I think the story's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to understand. Sometimes Geoff Johns can get a little metaphysical in some of his thinking, and it just kind of waters down the story. But in this case, he seems to be taking a pretty direct line through the story, and I think that is a very good thing. This story, this issue in particular, he's kind of jumping around a little bit, but not too much. We know that he's got something inside of him, and I don't know if it's radiation treatment or certain cancer or something like that, that helped him survive an atomic blast that pretty much wiped out most of the world, with Vegas being accepted, and the different casinos in Vegas are actually little fiefdoms with different characters running each casino. And it's got a big wall around it to keep the monsters and other things out that are mutating. Now we've got a brother and sister that have escaped Vegas. They were with their mom. Their mother got shot as she had grabbed, I can't remember if it seems like it was something that was worth a lot of money, and she was going to try to leave the city and go somewhere else with their kids. She unfortunately got shot. The kids made it out in a car and crashed it. And then they met Geiger, who was wandering around there after they had been attacked by giant ants. And Geiger's telling him, you guys need to go back. They say, we can't go back. Our car's messed up. So he is going to take them along with him. Now we start getting a flashback of Geiger's life a little bit, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's a little bit of too much spoilers going on. But if you recall, in the first issue, his wife and son locked themselves in the shelter before the bomb hit because Geiger was out front trying to keep neighbors from taking over the shelters, these rich neighbors. So he stayed outside, locked his family inside. And I'm not going to give away everything. But in the meantime, we've got one of the groups from Camelot, the casino Camelot, coming in and trying to raid his shelter because they know it's full of supplies and whatnot. And they're running low on supplies there themselves. So they take down Geiger, but Geiger's got like a special power that makes him glow and kind of explode. Now the king, this is a flashback. This is the first time Camelot has attacked him. As you can see here, Geiger's starts to freak out, and he activates this power within himself, and he places his hand on this king's face, which is pretty cool. Which I don't know if it's going to show it here. The king has sent all his men in to kill him, and they cannot kill Geiger. He's just too powerful. You can see he busted out his chains here. And Geiger's dog has also attacked the people around him. Geiger's got this two-headed dog. It's pretty awesome. So as you can see, Geiger reached out with his hand. He places it on the king's face, forever scarring the king. And when the king is back in Camelot, he wears actually a mask over it that resembles his original face. And that's kind of where we end. So we get a little bit more backstory about Geiger and also his agreement to take on the two kids and help them get to wherever they need to go. So this is a recommend, like I mentioned. Pretty good story. I'm enjoying it. Okay, let's take a look at what else Image has got going on. This appears to be a trade paperback, Radiant Black. They're advertising that. Robert Kirkman and Scott Snyder both saying kind things about it. Here is the copy or the cover for the next issue of Geiger, which looks really great. Gary Frank's just amazing artist, and the colorist is doing a good job on it as well. This is number 4. Don't worry, the lizard makes it out okay, so whew, little spoiler there. And they're swarmed by the organ people. So apparently there's going to be another group that is going to go after the kids with Geiger trying to help hold them off. Then we have Mom, Mother of Madness. This is the Emily Clark book. It's getting a lot of flack. So it's something that I'm not really that interested in, but I'll probably skip this one. Ordinary Gods, we get a sneak preview on this one. Kyle Higgins is the writer. I wasn't too impressed with what I saw with the sneak preview. It just kind of talks about an overthrow. They try to overthrow gods. And then we go to more modern times. And it looks like there's some kind of Scientology type group trying to find some of these ordinary gods. And that's kind of all it is. That sneak preview is a little bit thin. Mirka Andolfa's Sweet Paprika. I was reviewing Mirka's Deep Beyond, which is also an Image comic, and I had to switch from a recommend to a not recommend on that as the story went way off the reservation, in my opinion. And Rain King Hammers, if I'm reading that right. Anyway, I guess this is a trade as well. Snipe and Slug coming in 2021. This is Peter J. Tomasi. I believe this is a brand new comic. He's the gun, she's the bullet. All right. And there you have it. Geiger. It is getting the good excavating seal of approval given out only by Indie Comics Jones here on this channel, except no substitutes. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by and listening to this review. As always, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.